a game about a pandemic that has wiped out most of the human race, has been delayed. But we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. What is going on, Matt?
Life is going on.
That is true. That is technically true.
It is Gamers 2 Podcast.
Also a good answer.
Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Brought to you by your host.
I was going to say Price Chopper Sparkling Water. Delicious.
I guess that. I mean, that powers the host.
It
the
does.
Host powers the podcast, which is Nate.
That host is
his name.
That host is me.
And then
I am
spectate.
Nate.
Really, I just spectate. I spectate.
This doesn't happen without you. Or Dewey or another body.
Exactly. See, I'm a spectator. There has to be a witness. There
Right.
always has to be a witness.
Right, because everyone, if you sign the papers without a witness, it's null and void. Or if any important documents have taught me that, I should say.
I don't know what important documents are. I just occupy.
You're further
this
in
world.
life than I am. If we're going on a life checklist of traditional means.
I got two on what's the we have one. Oh, we own houses, I guess. I don't know. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Two is getting married. I got two. I got two things.
Yeah, one more than me. It's more paperwork than I have. Actually, I have to have the merit, witnesses.
It's surprisingly you need surprisingly little paperwork to be legally married. It's one sheet of paper.
It shouldn't even be that, as far as I'm concerned. Because we can get into a whole marriage as a construct discussion that I don't want to get into because
which is why I said legally married.
Because this is a gaming podcast, and legally you need to be married to do certain things, especially healthcare wise.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll leave that where it is, and that it can be. No, I told you I want to change the style of this show.
Okay.
Do you have a quick point that I
was going to say, one of the benefits to being married is I just recently switched jobs, so I didn't have health insurance.
True.
This all kicked off.
Boom.
Current events kicked off. I was like, this is not bueno. So because we're married and I switched jobs, that was considered a change of life circumstance. So Samantha
she was able to
pull you
into the plan.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Life happens to the best of us and the worst of us.
It's a board game.
It is. And why would you go 4 spaces shorter not to finish college?
I don't know.
We're not going to discuss college degrees on this podcast because it wouldn't go well, but I mean, it's 4 spaces on a life game. Who doesn't? Anyway. What?
It's just on the board game.
On the board game, if you finish the extra 4 spaces, or however many it is, you get to choose much higher paying jobs.
I think the modern version of life is more...
It should be. Because
it's more like, oh, you want to go to college? Here's your crippling debt.
Which is what it should be, because also you can have skilled labor jobs that aren't college jobs, that aren't the degrees, that the underwater welder and whatever, that are technically a technical profession, that are a trade profession, that can get paid way more than almost any college degree.
Yeah.
But those are rare circumstances, and we digress back to a gaming podcast, not usually about the board game life. I want to switch it up because I'm not going to ask you what you did 7 days. We're going to push that all to the end.
Yes. Which makes sense.
I want to give people new releases, and I want to get right into the news and take the first half or so of first half to 45 minutes of the podcast where we run that through. And then we'll recap ourselves. Especially with today, I think we will have a lot more to now discuss.
Possibly. There's actually a fair amount of news this week.
There is, but I mean, we
tidbits, I guess.
Ourselves, we will have more to discuss anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we should just get the news out of the way, even though it is grandiose in nature, if you will.
So
that means we need to start with new releases.
New releases, things you could play right now. Curated by the one, the only, Nate of Gamers 2 Podcast.
Just pump that ego, man.
Take it away, Nate.
Give me more ego. Yeah. The one, the only is a scary thought and also not wrong. Number 1, you get What the Box on Switch, Journey to the Savage Journey to the Savage Planet on PlayStation, Overpass for PlayStation, Persona 5 Royale. It's not Royal, it's Royal. I just like the idea that it's Royale for PlayStation. The Complex for PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Zombie Army Trilogy has now gone to Switch. Totally Reliable Delivery Service for PlayStation, Switch, PC, and other things. I think mobile too. They had a whole release thing. And currently, free on Epic for the next couple days. So go claim it.
Crazy.
It is. It's going to be a fun game. Number 8 is Snaky Bus.
Oh, yeah.
For PlayStation and Switch, where you are a bus basically playing Snake over a city. You're driving through a city trying not to hit yourself as you get longer and longer by dropping and picking off passengers. Number 9 is the Otterman Empire for Switch. Yes, that is Otterman, as in otters of the lakes and rivers. And number 10 is Resident Evil 3 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
I think you're missing one.
I don't think I am.
Didn't Modern Warfare 2 come out?
Oh, the campaign remaster?
Yeah, you don't count that?
Okay, Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster for services that exist.
I don't know. You're usually a
It
Call
wasn't
of Duty
on my
fan.
list. It wasn't on my list.
So we're not really going to talk about it. So it's
No,
cool
we're
too.
not. And it's the campaign. And people are like, okay, cool, campaign.
Why would they remaster it? I don't get that. Because my understanding is that not a lot of people actually play the campaigns in Call of Duty games.
Percentages would tell you that is true.
So why spend the time to remaster it? Maybe the engine's maybe they figured out they have a process now where it's really easy. I don't know.
Maybe. I didn't look at the install size because I'm not going to buy it, but I'm really curious how bad that install is with Modern Warfare being 184 gigs.
Well, I'll have to look into that.
Modern Warfare has a lot more components in it, but I mean just the campaign part of.
Yeah, I did download Warzone with the anticipation of trying it out, seeing what I thought.
You're
if I
insane.
had known that it was 100 plus gigs, I might not have done it.
Yeah, it's technically, if you're playing it for Warzone, you have downloaded 184 gigs for a BR, which is batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming their ploy is essentially...
Yeah, we want you to do the other thing. Like, that's why
Yeah.
we're not allowing you to just download Warzone. But that's really what they should do. They should double down on just allow people to play Warzone. But they actually really what they should do is they should be sending you here's the code for the pieces of software, and you now can choose which pieces you would like to install, is what they should be doing. But
Which they could do. We all know.
right.
So.
I mean, when I want to install Office for work, Office 365, it's like, which apps would you like to install? Click, 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 click. Boom, done. You know, it's like, come on. Anyway. Yeah, those are the new releases. Resident Evil 3, the next remastered Resident Evil. It looked pretty. Pretty.
That's a good engine they got there.
It is a pretty good engine, and I don't know. I'm not a big Resident Evil person. I enjoy watching other people play Resident Evil. I really enjoyed watching Ray Narvaez Jr. or Brown Man on Twitch playing Resident Evil. He is my usual go-to streamer for things. Watched him play all of 2, 7, and all that stuff. And he started playing 3 today, and I was like, I could just sit here and watch this, but Matt and I have things we want to do. So
Yeah. For reference, 60 gigs, roughly.
is the Modern Warfare 2 one. So 60 gigs for the campaign. So if you chop off Modern Warfare's campaign, you're down to 120. At least.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's not discuss storage states because they'll make me angry, and Todd will have an aneurysm if he listens to this podcast. He only was messaging me until like 2 a.m. the other night, randomly going through the Build a PC subreddit looking at hard drives.
So,
And I was like, you just need yours to fail before you're convinced you should do it.
I tried to do the thing. You know how when you buy computer parts, like that, you just don't want to look at things afterwards because you know something better will pop up.
Oh, no.
And like that's what's been happening, and I've been trying to avoid it, but like I get notifications for it. So like, you know, I bought space. I bought an NVMe drive, and I didn't pay a bad price on it.
Right.
But they naturally, of course, because I bought one, they got like $10, $20 cheaper. Like
Yeah.
the weeks following.
Yeah, they're like, hey, did you want to buy another one?
Yeah, it's like,
Tempting. I see your games, which I will not play them. But yeah, so that's a lot of games to play during a quarantine.
yeah, it's a good thing.
Some games are still coming out. Other ones, as we'll talk about, aren't. Should we get right to the news?
We shall. We shall.
Funny enough, we didn't really save much time, but let's get to the news.
We never do.
No, but I wanted to flip where we waste the time. That's all. Waste the time on the back end. If you're here for us, that's weird. Usually you'd come here for news. If you're here for us, you can wait. It's going to be worth it, but you can wait.
Maybe. Debatable.
I'll start with number 1. Our new segment, Steam Watch. Matt comes up with terrible titles for segment names.
I do. It's my thing. It's like dad jokes.
We've been watching the Steam numbers. What should we call it? Steam Watch.
I put like 30 seconds of effort in, and I was like, nothing's coming, Steam Watch.
I had an aneurysm. Steam broke its record for concurrent users actively playing games on Sunday, reaching 7.25 million total users. The previous record, as recorded by SteamDB, was at 7.2 million in January 2018. SteamDB also registered a new record of over 24.1 million active users, a number that I say will go above 30. As time goes on.
Funny story about that.
Okay.
It was at 23 point something million.
Mm-hmm.
And out of curiosity, I was like, I bet it went up higher. And I pulled up SteamDB. And like right when I pulled it up,
It jumped.
it was at 24.1 million. Like that moment during the day. And I was like, okay, that's definitely a bigger number. And then I looked back through briefly. It might actually have been higher at some point between me editing it. But that's the highest it's been so far. It's 24.1 million. Or is that moment that I happened to look at it? And I was like, that's weird.
You're a prophet? Just think, the game Crisis 3, the game Crisis, the character's name was Prophet. Humanity wiped out by a disease. But the prophet did not tell them, or told them, but they didn't understand. Crisis is a weird story, but great game. Just only if you could have a PC that could run it.
Crisis.
The old benchmark and a half. Can it run Crisis?
I kind of want to know. I'm sure someone's done it. How it runs on like modern systems.
Somebody, I think, finally got it running on a supercomputer. That was it. I think that was a news story a couple days ago, or maybe a couple.
I wonder
ago.
if anyone's actually played Crisis like all the way through.
Yeah, I'm sure people have.
Because like I bought Crisis and I played it for like a couple hours, and I was like, oh, whatever.
I had Crisis 1, Crisis 2, and Crisis 3, and Crisis 2 had probably one of my favorite multiplayers. Except Crisis 2, I was playing on the PS3, and Sony got hacked for 2 months, so I couldn't play it online anymore. And then Crisis 3 was just fun because I got dirty with with the bow for a little while, so I would just run around multiplayer maps, just. Anyway,
the bow. Never did the multiplayer thing.
Already completely into tangents.
Oh yeah. All right.
Not that that's a bad thing, but news.
Cards Against Humanity has announced a new family edition of its popular phrase matching card game, and you can download and print the public beta of the game for free right now.
God, I miss that guy.
I know,
As
right?
a reference to like 5 years ago now.
No worry, 3. You're never going to see him again.
We weren't going to see him again anyway, unless For Honor 2 came out.
You can download 2 PDFs of the beta. One is a 21-page PDF with small square cards, and the other is a 47-page PDF with larger rectangular cards. I'm assuming they mimic the traditional ones. If you want to play, all you need to do is print out that PDF and cut out the cards. Many of the regular Cards Against Humanity cards aren't appropriate for most children. But the company says this version of the game is designed, quote, for people ages 8 and up, end quote. And that the content is PG rated. The game has also been play tested with families, according to Cards Against Humanity. The new family edition will eventually go on sale this fall, but the creators wanted to let families who might be quarantined play it now so that they, quote, have something to do besides giving more money to the Disney Corporation, end quote.
Oh shit, shots fired. Pew, 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 pew.
I can respect that.
I can definitely understand the sentiment because it's pretty funny, but I'm so curious to see what a family-friendly version of Cards Against Humanity looks like. I assume it's just called Apples to Apples. You know what I mean? Like that's Apples to Apples is that. But I think even if you play the family-friendly version of it, no matter what, if you play it with the dirty-minded adults that are playing the regular game, it will still be the same game.
That's what I'm betting is it's that type of humor that you find in like a lot of Disney movies.
Well, yeah, it's probably like I'm saying, it's probably Apples to Apples where it's the much nicer game, but the game is only as nice as the crowd playing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's much worse jokes I could say there, but I'm going to stop then. And we'll move on to number 3. Sony announced on Thursday that it has delayed Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2 until further notice because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the first time we will see if Matt is consistent throughout the doc of COVID-19 or coronavirus or novel coronavirus.
Spoilers, I didn't try, so probably not.
Can't wait to see then. The game had been previously scheduled to launch on May 29th, a date that I don't remember. I don't remember that. I never remember that getting assigned May 29th for some reason.
Really?
When people were like, yeah, it's been pushed, I was like, it had a release date? Blanked out of my head. Maybe because I was just like ignoring it and I didn't want to know.
Probably. I mean, it moves so much that I've noticed when games start to move, like, I don't know the release date for Cyberpunk.
I know it's in September. After that, couldn't tell you. I think 19th, but that's, I think, also when Halo came out in 2007, so I'm not sure anymore.
It's a thing. Once the game's been moved, like, more than 2 times, it's like, fuck it.
I slowly start just trying to remember windows at that point where I'm like, all right, fall 2020, and then after that, it's like...
For me, it's usually like, it's this year, right? Or is it next year? It's this year.
I kind of wait till I, like, get the feeling around, like, I start seeing random things on Twitter where I'm like, there's a lot of stuff
It's
popping
the marketing that does it.
Yeah. Like, is this coming out now? A statement from Naughty Dog reads, quote, "We were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay and will update you as soon as we have new information to share," end quote. And then in much smaller news, Sony also delayed Iron Man VR.
It's like, oh, it's tacked on there.
Yeah. Well, when they were talking about it, when I saw it, because I saw the press release and everything from Sony, and they're like, "Hey, listen, Last of Us 2, we have to delay it. Here's this whole statement from Naughty Dog. Neil Druckmann's out in front of it. Ashley Johnson's out. Troy Baker. Everybody's out in front of it. And by the way, Iron Man VR is delayed." I'm just like, that had a release date? That one I'm even more shocked had a release date.
I don't even remember that being a thing.
I remember it being a thing from them acquiring a license or whatever, but I was just like, okay, that's now delayed. Thoughts on not seeing Last of Us, what it means for Last of Us, what it means for world view type, if it's an optic thing, if it's truly logistical things because they might have outsourced stuff to China, blah, blah, blah.
So I saw a couple articles link back to something that Jason Schreier said where he basically tacked on additional information, and he's like, apparently he was saying they were going to have issues printing discs, making discs.
Right.
So they just called it. And I'm assuming it's like everything's on hold, so let's just put it on hold as well.
I think there's definitely that. There were some people saying, like, oh, releasing a game about a global pandemic might not be, like, the best time. And I'm like, Resident Evil 3's out.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about that.
So I understand where you're coming from, but it's bullshit. But I understand it's just bullshit. It's the actual, like, physical problems that are stopping them.
I get it. Like, I completely understand. And there's going to be another story that we'll touch on that's kind of like the same problem, but the other end. I just don't, being the realist / pessimist that I am,
you and me both, bud.
I don't like to see the games being delayed because, like, that was what I had planned on doing with all this downtime. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
interesting. That's not the angle I took.
I was like, okay, we got some new games coming out that'll occupy some of this time because in my eyes, and this is totally my opinion, I don't see this ending anytime soon. So I see this like, you know, it might be months before, you know, we get any sort of relief from the situation. So I'm like already having issues dealing with it.
I know it's bad when I'm getting text messages at 9 a.m. and Matt's like, "How do you guys do this?" And I'm like, "Dude, that was literally your day one from home. You sent Dewey and I a text message. Like, I'm going crazy. We should talk about ideas for the podcast." I was like, "It's day one.
Yeah,
you
but
haven't
it's
even been
not
home
like-
for a week."
It's a compound issue. It's the excess time, but it's also the fact that like I'm home with
Right.
other people.
Yeah,
and,
it's
like,
the whole.
trying to make it work.
But it was just like, he's gonna lose his mind if we're not careful.
There'll be my role, my existence in this situation is going to look like the COVID apex. Everything's going to come to a head
Existence in what situation?
in the quarantine situation. Everything's going to come to a head, and I'll figure it out, and then we'll be smooth sailing after that. We'll come down.
Yeah, you're just you're still on your own ramp.
I'm
up.
on my ramp up. I'm on the tippy top of the mountain, but I'm really only halfway up.
Fair enough. You know, it's what you get for being a 2-time. Yeah, I think it's a good thing for Last of Us.
Everything. It's always good for a game to get delayed. Well, you know what I mean.
It is and isn't. I think it's specifically a good thing for Last of Us because, and kind of Sony, because if you can drop that and PS5 same time, it's pretty good because right now you've almost been you've been kind of preemptive getting everything out onto the PS4 and not keeping a lot back for PS5 in terms of like things we know about. Like what we actually know. Ghost of Tsushima is in June. Pending that doesn't get pushed. Last of Us was now. Like Dreams is apparently actually out. Like there's
my assumptions is I'm following in your trend here, your wake. I kind of suspect everything that's supposed to come out between now and
August
holiday season,
yeah,
when the beginning of the cycle, I assume that's all going to get pushed. It's all going to get just fucking plowed into the PS5 release, and that'll be it.
I think a bunch is just kind of getting is exactly that. We're starting the bulldozer, and it just took its first victim, and we're still going forward.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a double-edged sword. Because it would have been great for them to come out in May if we're all still stuck in.
Yeah. That's
because
the thing.
You would be, hey, you're already all inside. Here's a game that everybody wants to play. Would have been great. But also going to be great on the back end if it launches like day and day on PS5.
So I've been kind of looking at
it. Pending we don't have the PS5 problems that are rumored.
Yeah. I kind of see this as almost like an industry identity crisis because if we were digital on everything,
right,
everything would be coming out on time for the most part.
And that goes back to that's an industry problem mixed with an infrastructure problem.
Yeah, they're like, like still hemming and hawing over the disc and digital thing, which I think in the case of The Last of Us, from what it sounds like, from what we've heard, if they weren't worried about discs, it would be out at its normal date.
Yeah, potentially. Pending, once again, they said they're in their final touch-ups and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure that was a quote out of Neo, is that they were in their final phases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much done at that point.
Yeah.
So if you're, it is the part that kind of bums me out. I know I'm gonna have physical collectors screaming at me, but I'm like, just go digital. And then
it's inevitable.
Even if you were telling me I could buy the plastic case later and just kind of like have it or whatever. And I understand the idea of wanting to have the game and blah, blah, blah. But the game, buying a digital and buying a disc are the exact same thing, and people don't get that because I do understand that I buy a disc and I can play it anytime I want. Only if you plan on never connecting that machine to the internet. Because at any point, should that machine touch the internet and that person or owner of software has decided to revoke your license, it just won't work anyway.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of gray area there, but I agree. If this was all, if we had the full capability to truly go full digital, we would do it.
Yeah, for sure.
A couple other games that are delayed due to COVID-19. Wasteland 3 was moved from May to August, and Minecraft Dungeons got moved out of April to May 26th.
We'll see if it keeps that one.
Minecraft Dungeons looks a lot like Diablo, which I said when we saw it, but then I saw it get played because it had a beta weekend or something, a closed beta weekend maybe, and I watched, once again, Ray play it. It looked really smooth and really good. Basically what we saw anyway, but I was just like, holy Minecraft Diablo.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. I like Minecraft.
I might check it out like on Games Fast or something, but I'm not about to press buy. Just because I would at that point I'd just rather play Diablo.
Yeah, I noticed.
Listen, we're not to that point of the show yet. Blame Todd.
The Outer Worlds Switch port will launch on June 5th, bringing the popular space RPG to Nintendo's console. Well, technically it's consoles, I guess, if you consider the Lite.
I mean, they're both still the Switch, though.
The Outer Worlds physical release will include a day one patch that could be up to 6 gigs in size, according to a blog post published by Obsidian Entertainment. The day one patch will include additional high-resolution textures and other fixes to ensure the Switch port will be stable.
Hopefully it does come out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a port, so it shouldn't be as bad.
It's a port, and they were originally planning to do just digital. So.
Right, and Outer Worlds is a good game.
Yeah.
Minus the things you've heard me say negative about it on here. It was still a good game.
Faux shizzle.
Not great, not terrible, but, a good game. Number 5, QuakeCon, the annual fan convention and tournament dedicated to the legendary first-person shooter game, has been canceled due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. The convention has been held every year for the past 24 years in Dallas, Texas, making the official 25th anniversary celebration the first QuakeCon to be canceled in the event's history. It was to be held in August. So good news, eventually we will still get the 25th celebration, I assume, at some point.
Yeah.
It always blows my mind that QuakeCon still happens.
Apparently I do have Modern Warfare 2 in here.
You son of a bitch.
I do not recall. I don't know. I've been drinking a lot of alcohol past couple days. It's a lot of beer. I've been drinking way more beer than usual. It's kind of weird.
I've debated. I drank one night. Grabbed a bottle of Coke and did some vanilla vodka Coke. Drank quite a bit of that. It's pretty good. But I did not get to the... I got to my I'm warm and happy phase, but I didn't even get to my buzzed phase.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't drinking heavily. I was drinking responsibly. And I have no more beer because I drank all that.
That's kind of impressive. That was a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, one a day. One a day, and I had it for a month and a half. I mean, I finished that before the quarantine happened. That ruined me.
We're gonna go off on a tangent here. It's obscene how cheap kegs are right now.
Yeah, I don't have a way to have a growler just stashed somewhere or a kegerator.
Mutual friend.
Acquaintance? Don't call him a friend.
Bought a 6-0 of Switchback.
Okay, all right.
For $50.
What?
Gets better. I don't know if you're familiar with this one, but it's pretty popular. It's a West Coast beer.
We can fit a few of those in the car.
He also got a 6-0 of Hop Nosh. It's a West Coast IPA.
Yeah, I believe I've seen it before.
Usually very expensive. $38.
Listen, I have a garage. and a bay that's not being used. How much beer do you want to put in there?
You can get a half keg, which, if you're unacquainted with the keg system, what is actually called a half keg, we know of in the States as a full keg.
Yeah.
You can get a
We're
keg.
weak.
You can get a keg of UC, granted it's UC,
Oh, yeah.
$50.
That's
There's 160
honestly, to me,
beers.
To me, that's what it's worth.
Yeah, I think 100. I think it's 160. Somewhere's around there. There's about, I'll say 150. There's 150 beers in a half keg.
So is this just
$50.
like easily findable?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we talked to some people at.
I'm literally messaging my friend right now who's a UC fan. I'm just gonna tell her whole keg, $50.
There's the local beer distributor. Apparently, the bars, since most of them are closed or only doing takeout, can't pick up their normal orders of kegs. They can't purchase them, basically.
Right,
So
and there would also be no
distributors-
reason to them.
Mm-hmm. All these distributors are like, we got to sell this shit, so they're just like literally like bargain bin prices. All right, moving on. After years of speculation, a remastered version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's single-player campaign is finally here, bringing an enhanced version of one of the most iconic FPS games of the late 2000s. The enhanced version of Modern Warfare 2 only includes the single-player campaign. The remastered version adds high-definition visuals, audio improvements to the original story from 2009, according to a blog post by Activision. The game is available digitally on PS4 for $19.99 and will be a timed exclusive until April 30th, when it launches on PC and Xbox One, though pre-orders are currently not available at this time. Faux shizzle.
Interesting.
I guess. Seems like a waste of time to me, but what do I know? I'm just the peon who buys games.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep buying those games, they're just going to keep remastering the old ones. Number 7. UK-based publisher Future has closed official Xbox magazine. Eurogamer reports that the magazine was shut down last week and the remaining team let go. OXM had been running for more than 18 years, having launched in November of 2001 around the debut of the original Xbox.
The end of an era.
It is. Print media will soon be dead. And now OXM is another one to fall. It sucks for those people, but I'm surprised they weren't. Maybe they were already all digital. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's been a while since I've seen them around.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen them around, but I also think Xbox may have put everything in-house at that point instead of having the official Xbox magazine. They might have just pulled everything in and done their own stuff at that point. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting to.
I do miss the days of like flipping through a magazine.
Sometimes it's nice, but I mean, let's be honest. Once you're through it once, that's it. It's done. You don't need it again.
For sure.
And that's why I never like. I have I hate that I even have it, but I have a stack I think somewhere of Sports Illustrateds. Okay, whatever. Like it's all a waste. If I had them all digitally or whatever, that'd be different.
Yeah.
But just having them all around, it just kind of doesn't do anything for me. Sometimes it's cool to be like, ooh, let's see what it was back then, and stuff like that. But it's like I could just do the exact same thing if somebody scanned one in digitally and flip back. So it's more surprising than ones you still see around for game magazines. I think Game Informer still is out there.
They can't be long for this world.
You'd think. GameStop's current direction, you'd think. I think they're still out there. I don't now I don't know what that's saying. Unsure. Sorry if I offended.
Bethesda's Global Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications, Pete Hines. They need to come up with a better name for that.
They should just call him Bethesda's Pete Hines.
Yeah.
Because he is the man, the myth, and the legend. He is just one step shy of oil tycoon Todd Howard.
Pete Hines has announced via Twitter that his team will not be among the publishers hosting a digital showcase to fill the void of E3 this summer. Quote, given the many challenges we're facing due to the pandemic, we will not host the digital showcase in June. We have lots of exciting things to share about our games and look forward to telling you more in the coming months. everywhere. So I don't know. I mean, definitely Marcy.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're having a separate conversation via cell phone.
Yep. So interesting. I wonder if they also just weren't going to have what we're going to see. What do we really have to show? Was it a lot of nothing again? Because I feel like that's probably where we were headed.
I mean, at their cycle,
just had new Wolfenstein. Just had everything new. Your next cycle is Elder Scrolls, Starlink, blah blah blah. So. Do you not want to talk? Because that might be what you should do anyway. So Doom DLC maybe and stuff like that.
It should be right. It's Starfield, then Elder Scrolls. I think is what the plan
because they said this is coming before Elder Scrolls. So you
on the same engine. Just to remind you guys, same engine.
Just please don't say that because you're going to set me off. I'm going to have a whole rant about how Larry's keeping the creation engine alive because the one fucking guy that's built himself now into the machine.
Yeah. Just in the closet somewhere.
Yeah, with little wires coming out of him because he is now one with it. Except every time you open the closet, it's just, kill me! And they just throw food and water in and leave. I think this E3 for Bethesda was setting up to be like the one 2 years ago when they did the theme park landscape. Mm-hmm. And everybody left kind of like...
Like, what did we see?
Yeah, like disappointed, questioning everything. And Andrew WK came out and was like, wait a minute. No, that wasn't that year. That was the year after, but...
I can't believe that.
I think it was the year after, because that was Rage 2 year. Or maybe it was... But yeah, the theme park year where we all came out and were like, so we got a couple of DLCs and Prey? Okay. Like, I think that's basically where we were headed, was Doom DLC, Fallout 4, or Fallout 76, more things, and then here's what we've kind of been working on. You guys like Elder Scrolls, the MMO? You guys like Elder Scrolls Blades? Well, it's on the Switch, and blah, 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 so...
I can't believe that Fallout 76 is still chugging along.
Still chugging. They finally put NPCs in the game. Who'd have thought that was a good idea? Oh, everybody at launch. Oh, boy. Number 9. In an unusual move, Square Enix has released the game early. No. Haha. Once again, I make joke before I read story. In an unusual move, Square Enix has decided to ship Final Fantasy VII Remake earlier than planned in select regions. A statement released via Twitter attributes the decision to the disruption caused by COVID-19. In an effort to avoid delivery delays, Square Enix has decided to, quote, ship the game far earlier than usual to Europe and Australia, end quote. Far earlier means on time, probably.
I think their plan is to start it significantly earlier so that it gets there
on time. Yeah. We're going to start shipping it early and then hope it gets there on time, which Square Enix will still be delayed by 2 days. And then only if you live in Europe and Australia, and then you'll play through the first 10 seconds of it and be wondering about where the rest of the game is. So, huzzah. Zing boom, got him.
Got him.
I wonder how many people are going to be like trying to change their PlayStation IDs and shit to Europe and Australia, switch their console locations to be trying to play the game.
I think it's just physical copies, so...
Hey, man. Never know.
You never know.
People are stupid.
Sony Corporation has established a global relief fund, pouring $100 million into supporting those affected by the spread of coronavirus. An initial $10 million will be devoted to the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund by the World Health Organization, United Nations Foundation, and Swiss Philanthropy, as well as Doctors Without Borders, UNICEF, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. That's a lot of organizations. These represent the first of 3 pillars Sony will be concentrating on distributing this fund, namely frontline medical workers and organizations helping with response efforts to the virus. The other 2 pillars will be educators that must now work remotely and the children they support, as well as the members of the creative community in the entertainment industry. Sony has several interests impacted in the latter, including delayed film releases, although the company does not expect the pandemic to affect the planned launch of PlayStation 5 later this year.
Just the games going up to it.
Yep. Sony is now exploring ways to use its technologies to support educational activities and work with remote educators on implementing this. It is also looking for options to support up-and-coming creators across music, film, games, and animation that have been affected by cancellation or postponement of events or productions. Good guy Sony. Doing good guy things. Trying.
Right. Trying. It's a good effort. It's a good start.
It's a good start. We'll see if anything comes to fruition.
We'll see if it carries. Yet more Sony news. Starting on the 30th of June, the PS3 will no longer be able to send messages to other platforms, such as the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. Remember that thing? Nor will it be able to receive them. The last-gen platform can still trade messages between PS3 consoles.
I'm assuming it's a back-end thing.
We are beginning to excommunicate the PS3. Hush, hush, you go over there now and die.
It does kind of make sense. The PS3 is...
They have made PS3 Island.
Yeah. Yeah, poor PS3.
I mean, it started itself out in an unhealthy light.
So I've seen multiple rumor stories about the price, speaking of the PS3, of the price of the PS5. And this is what I love. The first story... It was a rumor based on, some other country's leak thing.
Yeah. Germany's Target store ad.
Yeah. The first country
or whatever
had
that
it listed.
whatever that one store is it Germany? That always has a leaked listing like 5 months out.
France does one all the time too.
Yeah, France is pretty bad. Walmart Canada is good for games.
Yep. The first price was $1,600. A couple days later, I saw another rumor story that was like, "Oh, another leaked price, $399." And I just love like the run up to console releases where it's just like
it's not even rumors is the best part. It's people just throwing shit at a wall,
just like
and hoping they got the number right before it gets revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand on the ground that it is not going cheaper than $499. There's my shit at the wall.
I don't remember. We've had this conversation multiple times.
We both said $499, and then if it went cheaper, the only cheaper it can go is $449, and it's because it's a launch at $499, but they're cutting $50 off at like the beginning for
and like soak it up.
Yeah, promotional things of just being like, it's MSRP is $499, but if you buy right now, we include this game, and it's only $449. You still have to buy the extra controller and 19 other things, though, you need to play it, because we don't give a shit about you.
That's fair.
I mean...
Fans will get an opportunity to play Riot's Overwatch meets Counter-Strike game Valorant. Is that how you say that? Valorant?
That is Valorant.
The developer announced that a closed beta will be launched on April 7th. It's not clear just how big the beta will be or how long it will last. I don't know if they said anything since. But Riot says the prospective players will need to link their Riot and Twitch accounts to be eligible. I don't know if that's true.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
The developer explained, quote, "When closed beta activates in your region, watch specific Valorant streams highlighted on Twitch for the opportunity to be entitled for closed beta access," end quote. The beta will be available to players in Canada, Europe, Russia, Turkey, and the United States. According to Valorant executive producer Anna Donlan, the limited number of regions is due to the ongoing pandemic. I watched literally a hot minute of it. I'm sure you've watched more. You said
about maybe 45 to an hour more than you have. Looks good.
Hot take. What's the hot take, Nate? Give us your hot take.
Looks like it could. The true hot take looks like it could be a new hot shit.
New hot shit.
And potentially last longer than 30 days.
I saw a minute of it, maybe two, whatever we watched.
It was more than 2 minutes, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It definitely... I mean, clearly the art style is a different direction, but it looks like Counter-Strike. the movements seem like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, very tactical.
Yes.
Slow,
and like the maps are
tactic,
very Counter-Strike.
small arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Real bullets really kill. No
So,
sponging.
I mean, it'll definitely attract people, I think.
I'm intrigued. I'm going to try to get into the closed beta because I want to at least mess around with it a little bit and see what's up.
Yeah.
So
What was interesting to me was the little bit of the abilities I saw. The combos looked really interesting, and they didn't seem to be, because the maps are so like enclosed and narrow, they're not overly effective to the point of being overpowered.
not yet.
Not yet.
But
We'll see.
Riot is at launch. I think they'll be okay. But Riot is notoriously terrible if they introduced a new champion.
They
of
just
going, it's fine, it's totally not broken, and then 2 seconds later going, or 2 weeks later when the patches come out again, they go, okay, it was way broken and we nerfed them into the ground. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you just need to release it when it's balanced.
Yep.
Number 13. According to Kotaku, Gearbox has informed a number of its developers that the Borderlands 3 bonuses they had been expecting would be greatly reduced. The website spoke with 6 developers at the studio, some of whom said employees had been promised a bonus of at least $100,000. 3 of the employees Kotaku spoke to said they were in a meeting where Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford explained that the bonuses would be significantly smaller than expected because the game ran over budget, didn't meet the company's internal sales projections, and because Gearbox had expanded its team, including opening a new studio in Quebec. The bonus cuts may have been particularly disheartening to developers, as the website says more than a dozen current and former Gearbox staff told them that the studio pays below average salaries for the games industry, with the idea that its profit-sharing bonus payments make up for that. Pitchford reportedly told those who didn't like the change that they were free to quit. I always love those quotes out of CEOs. If you don't like it, you can leave. Shut the fuck up. Borderlands 3 was the fastest selling title in the history of publisher 2K Games and sold nearly 8 million copies from its September 2019 launch through the end of the year. While 2K parent Take-Two Interactive said the game exceeded expectations at launch, its most recent earnings report mentioned that the company had lowered its expectations of the game for the fiscal year. In addition to the news of reduced bonuses, the Kotaku report also cites 2 people familiar with the studio's plans as saying that Gearbox has been planning to go public. Interesting.
The plot thickens.
Interesting. If you're under Take-Two's umbrella and you try to go public, you will be slapped.
I thought it was an interesting little thing.
It's definitely interesting, but I want to know what your internal sales projections were if 8 million didn't make it.
Yeah,
was it 15 million? Like, I think 8 million is pretty good.
Especially when you're considering it's the fastest selling game in your publisher.
Right. And what were the launches of Borderlands 1 and 2? I can't think they were above 8 million.
I don't think so. I think this was the best selling one by far.
Yeah. So, like, what were you expecting internal sales numbers to be? 15 million? Like, double that? Because even if you missed it by 1 million, maybe 2 million, I wouldn't think your cuts would be as drastic as you're discussing.
I'm assuming we're going to get a flood of stories of, like, mass exodus of developers from Gearbox now. Because, like, it's kind of reminds me of Rockstar. Like, you work at Rockstar, because it's Rockstar.
Right.
But they do the profit sharing thing too. So if you're there for a long time, you do your job, you get paid bank.
Yeah, and because it's Rockstar, when they drop a game, other than like the joke that became LA Noire, and even that sold well, they don't miss usually. When they swing, they do damage.
Some of the stuff that I left out was, because it was a lengthy piece, was...
but Gearbox doesn't. That's the thing.
Well...
If Gearbox swings...
Even on their last Borderlands games, and that's why a lot of developers were upset, was on their previous games, they were given profit share bonuses that allowed them to buy houses with cash.
Yeah.
And that's why they were like, oh, this is going to be great.
Which is insane at the same time because pre-sequel sucked. Like,
Here's the thing.
I don't know
Their
what went
profit
wrong
share,
because...
Their profit... Let me tell you their profit share
Was it
scheme.
Battleborn? Like,
because when they... For profits for a game, the company takes 60%, and then the 40% is spread out between the rest of the staff, essentially, based on seniority. So that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, it is. And when they're just like, we're going to cut that, and if you don't like it, quit. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. It would take me a lot to quit my current job, but if there was a statement that was made of like, if you don't like it, then leave, I'd be having a real conversation where I go, okay, so who do I need to talk to leave? Like,
yeah.
And when they go, what? Are you serious? I go, yeah, you're not going to tell me that and expect me to stick around. Are you insane? But
throw that talent away. It's not worth it. Just throw it away.
And
Let's see how that works out for you.
And throw it away to do what? What is Gearbox without Borderlands going forward? Battleborn worked out great. That was their game, right?
I don't know anymore.
I don't want to keep shitting on them for Battleborn if it's not their game. I gotta just do a quick Googling.
That was it for the news, by the way.
Developed by Gearbox. Yeah. Battleborn was great. No, it wasn't. It sucked. There's a reason it doesn't exist anymore, and it barely did anything. So if you want to say that you sank money into that project and you can't pay your bonuses on 3, that's literally not how that works either. So yeah. I don't understand. How far over budget did you go? Who's the person that, if you went that far over budget, you're supposed to have somebody watching that project, aren't you? To make sure it doesn't go over budget? So maybe they're the ones that should take the hit? Like, I don't know. I'm not the CEO of a giant company, nor am I the financial department of a giant company. I'm not either of those things. I am a tiny man.
So that was it for the news. True Baker's Dozen this week.
We're not that show.
Well, a Baker's Dozen is a thing. It's
I
just
know.
a thing. You know?
I know it's an actual thing. Just saying.
Lucky number 13.
We'll never be beyond. All right? It's
Lucky
dead.
number 13.
They killed it.
Lucky number 13.
I don't care if it still exists. All right. Shall we move to some deals, Meshu?
Deals. What do you got for deals?
I got some deals. I got some deals for you because it's the beginning of the month, which means that PlayStation Plus has 2 new free games called Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2. I think those are 2 pretty good games.
Yeah, that is a good game.
Xbox Games with Gold is going to have Project Cars 2 available from April 1st to the 30th on Xbox One. Knights of Pen and Paper Bundle available April 16th to May 15th on Xbox One. Fable Anniversary available from April 1st to the 15th on Xbox One and Xbox 360. And Toy Box Turbo is available April 16th to the 30th on Xbox One and Xbox 360. I hate Xbox Games with Gold release times every time because it makes things way more confusing. Unless I read them in full sentences for you. Twitch Prime has its new games out. Twitch Prime constantly always has loot, but the games they recycle, or they cycle new games in every month to give you away. If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime, and it also means if you redeem your Twitch Prime, you can get these free games. Turok, Etherborn, one of the 2. Light Matter, Earthlock, and Kathy Rain. So there you go. Boom. You got more things you can play.
For shizzle. Do you want me to hit you with that
Is it
Humble
different?
Bundle Conquer COVID-19 bundle?
Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing. Go for it.
You'll like this one.
I'm sure I will, like most things Humble Bundle does.
Pay $30 or more, and you get Into the Breach, Undertale.
Good game. Into the Breach. Good game.
Undertale.
Good game.
Hollow Knight.
Good game.
Wizard of Legend.
Unsure.
Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Hysterical game.
The Witness.
Good game.
Super Hot.
Great game. We'll hear more about that later.
Program called Tilt Brush by Google.
Don't know it, but I assume maybe that's the VR one that you can do the painting in.
Yep. I think maybe. I don't know if it's VR. Yeah, it is. It's got VR on it. Yep. Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham.
Good game.
Killing Floor 2.
Good game.
Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered.
I have no idea.
Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition.
Yeah, you see what they did there? Because, like, death is a character.
Darksiders War Mastered Edition. Sniper Elite 3. This is the Police.
Good game. Good game.
The Jack Party Pack 2. The Jack Box Party Pack 2.
Great collection of games.
This is a killer bundle. Stick Fight, the game.
That's solid.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Funny game. Not truly funny, but it's I believe you control one brother with one thumbstick and the other brother with the other thumbstick, so it gets a little hand-eye coordination for you.
Party Hard.
Great game.
Worms Revolution.
Also a great game.
Europa
Europa Universalis.
Yes, that
Universalis.
one.
4?
4.
Yep. It's always 4.
Tropico 4.
Tropico, you can make yourself a racist bipolar Tourette's dictator.
GNOG.
Also, Tropico 4. There's 5 out. Why would you use that one? What?
I don't know. GNOG. I don't know what that
Gong.
is. GNOG.
Oh, sorry. I had listening dyslexia.
Broken Age.
Good game.
Brutal Legend.
There you go. Get some Jack Black in there.
Psychonauts.
James Willems, you're welcome.
Double Fine Adventure.
More Double Fine.
Pac-Man Championship.
Is that an actual Pac-Man game?
Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. I think.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
Pikanaiku. Something.
I believe I know the game you're talking about. Looks like a silly game.
Yes. World of Goo.
Okay.
Super Hexagon.
Don't know that one either.
VVVVVV.
VVVVV is if you want to throw your head against the wall, it's the game where you basically just jump up and down.
I don't know if we're going to be able to make it through this whole list. I'm not going to lie.
Dude, we have so much time. We're an unlimited time podcast. There's where you kind of are just falling, and then you have to like switch.
Oh, that makes sense.
With there's just jags everywhere, and you have to can switch gravity to like maneuver. The game gets unbelievably hard, and watching people run it is insane. It's one of the games when it comes up in Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick. I'm like, sure, I'll watch it, but holy hell, am I never playing it? Hacknet, fun times if you like sitting at a command terminal. And spoilers, I do.
A Mortician's Tale.
Don't know it.
A good snowman is hard to build.
That is technically true.
Magica.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good game.
Rebuild 3, Gangs of Deadsville.
Don't know that one.
Agents of Mayhem.
Interesting game. It's not bad, but holy shit did it get raked when it came out.
Ducati 90th Anniversary. Looks like a motorcycle racing game.
I would expect it with Ducati.
Speed Brawl.
Don't know it.
Hives Swap Act 1. Alien Spidey. Stealth Inc. 2, A Game of Chaos.
Ooh.
Lost Winds.
No.
Zombotron.
No idea.
All right, so that's all the games you get for $30.
That's all for $30.
Oh, there's more, just not. That's all for games.
Oh, okay. Holy shit, that's a lot.
All right, now we get some various books. Some of them are rule sets for different D&D campaigns. Starfinder, Pact Worlds campaign, The Art of Captivating Conversation.
I love that they're giving people that book during quarantine.
Lock and Key Volume 1, Welcome to Lovecraft. Journeys Through Time and Space, 5 classic novels of science fiction and fantasy. Coping Skills. Tool and techniques for every stressful situation. The Mood Elevator. All right, looks like it's a whole slew of self-help books. Prisoners of Our Thoughts. Fairy Tale, Happy's Adventure, Volume 1. The Army of Darkness, Ash the Author. I don't know, it's an Army of Darkness book. Red Sonja, Petitioning the Queen. The Boys, Volume 1, the name of the game. Oblivion Song, Volume 1. Saga, Volume 1. Spawn Origins, Volume 1. Undiscovered Country. I don't know what that is, actually. Anyways. Oh, my God. All right. Criminal Coward, another book. Nowhere Men, Volume 1. Actually, they're both graphic novels. Mindfulness for Kids. Automate the boring stuff with Python.
Hey, start coding Python. Easy. It's the simpler language. And yes, start automating things.
Lumberjanes, The Infernal Compass. Crosswords of Wisdom Volume 2. Animal Kind. Music Maker EDM Edition. And that's everything.
That is a lot of things.
For $30.
$30. You can't go wrong.
That's crazy because like the first couple games we mentioned, there you go. There's your $30.
Yeah, that within that first $30 is spent.
Easily.
Easily.
I think The Witness by itself is normally $30.
If not more. So it's...
so far they're up to $4.3 million for charity.
Give them more money.
They did list where that's going to because it is for COVID.
It's usually always at the bottom. Unless they have it at the top.
Direct Relief, International Rescue Committee, Doctors Without Borders, Partners in Health. And I think there's some more as well.
Good.
It's a goodie.
So now shall we move to our personal time?
Yeah, where are we at for time
the
here?
fireside chat. I don't care.
Okay.
Hey, this is a pandemic. We can run long.
All right.
People want entertainment, so we're gonna give it to them in the form of a fireside chat moment of part of our thing. I'm not gonna go get polio and sit in a wheelchair, but I digress. Actually, speaking of polio, I think there was a case that came up
Probably.
maybe within the last year or something, somewhere that somebody got contracted with polio, and we're like, how we got rid of that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the measles in Italy, but that's just a bunch of anti-vax people. I don't want to discuss that. It's been 7 days, roughly, since I've seen you. What have you been up to? Gaming, booking, dealing with people-wise, or lack thereof.
Haven't read any books. I've been just watching my normal anime routine regimen. Really... This baseball anime is fantastic. This volleyball anime is fantastic. Like, I literally can't get enough of them. The new episodes are so fucking good, and it's infuriating because I have to wait a week for a new episode. Because they're both in their fucking tournaments. So, like, the baseball, like, the team...
It's big, important moments.
Yep. The team's hitting their big spring tournament. You know, the main character got the ace number. He's living life. Not doing so hot right now at the moment, but who gives a fuck? Volleyball, they're also at their nationals tournaments. They're fucking crushing folks. It's great. Character development's fantastic. You know, can't wait. New volleyball episode tomorrow morning, actually.
Boom! Look at that. Things to watch.
Yeah, I think it's just been games, man. Just games.
Games isn't a bad thing. Games for you is usually null and void. You usually have nothing.
It's been a whack game week for me. What the fuck? So we played a little bit more of Dead War.
We did play another mission in Dead War.
Yeah. The consensus seems to be that Nate's nasty with the combos.
Oh, yeah.
The combo points.
I can rack
get
up
points
them.
for your kills, but there's like a combo thing, so you basically have to like chain kills together in various means. I am not good at that, clearly.
Yeah, it might be like a 10-second runoff from your last kill to keep the combo going, and I ended up getting a really stupid scenario during our one mission where I dropped an artillery strike on a bunch of zombies, and that just kept counting up.
Yeah,
so.
It was like the crescendo of the mission, so like it was like hordes and hordes of zombies, and you know he had stacked artillery placements basically on perfect spots.
Okay, all right. I thought you were about to say on purpose. I was like, I did not do that on purpose. I had to run back in the room, get ammo, and then
here's the funny thing: before you landed yours, I ran through with one, shot it, it bounced off the wall and landed in the building. And then your two came in, and the artillery started raining down, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Son of a bitch.
So there was that.
The funny thing, though, even with those combos, we were still not that far off in kills. Like, total kill difference
Yeah, I know.
was not that far off. Just that the combo score of me doing all of my kills directly in succession was stupid or more stupid than...
I think it's a playstyle difference thing.
Oh, 100%, because I actually see the combo meter on the side of my screen, and I'm like, I'll switch to my pistol just to keep that thing going, because as long as you hit, even if you don't kill, as long as you hit a zombie, it'll refresh the timer on it.
Yeah, I clearly don't pay attention to it, and I run around like a crazy person. Like, I'm just running around.
Yeah,
like,
we're playing a sniper elite style
around,
game, and yet meanwhile you and I both
run
have like
around.
pistols and shotguns out.
Yeah.
Just
I started playing Doom, the first one. I downloaded it to possibly move on to Doom Eternal. I guess I'm not that far into it, I guess. Like, I don't even know.
You might not be.
I don't even know how to like register how far in.
I think
am.
I was only 12 to 16 hours for total completion for like my beating of the campaign, which is total completion for me because I'm not going to run back through the collectibles.
It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, and I'm not enjoying. Well, I don't want to say that. I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. I don't know if it's just I'm trying to juggle too many games at once, like, because that's not my thing. Like, that's not normally what I do. So I don't know if I'm having a hard time going back and forth between game styles. There was something else on PC I was playing. But I'm having, like, I struggle with Doom for some reason. Like, it's the fucking shield people piss me off. And, like, I can't tell that I'm taking a lot of damage most of the time until, like, I'm all of a sudden...
Until you're too far, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I should have been paying attention to that. So I'm still trying to get that down. I think I'm going to try to power through it, even though I'm not, like, having a fucking blast. I played the Stanley Parable. I did a couple of the endings. I didn't do all of them because there's too many.
There are a lot, and there's also, I think, a achievement for not playing the game for 5 years. It also is funny that you have now played the Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
Game's been out for years.
Yeah.
And it is a solidly entertaining narrative.
It is. I like that I could speed through and do a bunch of endings and... like, just dip on it.
Yeah, like the longest ending might take you 30 to 45 minutes, I think.
There's a 4-hour one.
Oh, okay. There's a 4-hour one.
There's one where you got to do the fucking baby for 4 hours.
Oh,
With
God.
the flame, you know what I'm talking about? The baby with the fire.
Yeah, I think so.
You have to do that for 4 hours. I didn't do it. I looked it up on YouTube because I was like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
No. And then I went into VR after that. I did buy an Oculus Rift S. And that came in
$399
Sunday, $399. And I've been like, my wife played it. I wanted Nate to play it because I need a barometer basically. Cause like I bought it, I hooked it up, I set it up, I played it with a couple different games, and I was like pretty blown away at the price per performance that you get on it, essentially.
Yeah. And we've both played, we played the OG Vive.
Yep, OG Vive.
And the PSVR. I think the two, at their time, the two kings of both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Low and high. Without counting, like, Google Cardboard.
Yeah. I got it for Half-Life Alyx. And that's predominantly what I've been playing. I tried out Beat Saber, and I tried out Super Hot. Nate has since played more Beat Saber and more Super Hot than I have. But it runs great. I don't have, like... I just upgraded my PC, but it's not by no means like a top-of-the-line computer. It's mid-grade. I would consider it mid-grade. Everything runs really good on it. Everything looks good. You do have to fiddle with the headset to get it, comfortable and also in your, like, sweet spot. But, that's... from my understanding of what I've read online, that's true of all headsets. And that's what I've been doing. Half-Life Alyx is blowing me away. I can't wait to play more of it.
I can't wait for you to play more either.
Yep. And then after that, I think I'm going to dip into The Sims. The Sims Racing to see what that's all about with the headset.
Man, The Sims Racing. Do they speak in Sim?
Yeah. Sim Racing, I should say. Not Sims Racing. But
Simulation Racing.
Sim Racing.
You going to get an iRacing account? You going to do it that way?
I think, no. I'm just
curious.
I'm gonna stick with the responsible thing. Like I
mean,
wanted to
you can
do
get-
Half-Life Alyx, so I bought Thrift Desk because that seemed to be the best bang for buck. That was the responsible choice. It was really hard to make that choice because the Index
It's just right there.
and the Vive Pros and like all those other fancy ones were staring right at me. But so I think I'm gonna get like Project Cars 2 or Assetto Corsa or whatever.
Does Corsa have VR support?
It does.
Okay, I didn't know if it did. I know Project Cars 2 did because
Mm-hmm.
I have one.
So I'm gonna do that and play with the controller and be like,
Interesting.
if I like the
I feel like that's gonna be so risky because I feel like you might like it more with the steering wheel. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Like,
I mean, I know that's gonna be the case, but you know, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is my thing.
well, if you wanted to do that, I could just download for next week. Whatever, you can just bring just the headset.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I won't have the Oculus stuff on my PC, but I don't know if you need that. But I could just
You
download.
do, but it's a small download.
I can just download Project Cars onto my machine, which comes with the VR support, and you could just see it straight up right then.
Yeah, well, I'll think about that.
It's a doable thing.
Because my original plan with the headset was to buy it, play Half-Life Alyx, play some other games, and then sell it. Well, the value is still high on it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I would get as much use out of it as it wouldn't be as valuable to me.
Right,
to
and
keep.
probably truly only lose $50, which would basically be the cost of Half-Life Alyx, and be done.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with life. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? That's the most productive week you've had in Gamers 2 all of 2020.
Yeah, I mean, there's
round of applause.
Thank you. Hopefully, I mean, my plan for
And we watch more Watching Baggage. Let's.
I mean, that I do enjoy that show a lot.
That should be on Watching Baggage with John Boy and Jake. First off, we already know we have a man crush on John Boy and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
feel like
appreciate them
we
as
would.
people.
I appreciate them as people.
Their relationship.
And their demeanor and jokes. It is us. I think we are very similar in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started doing their Watching Baggage, Matt and I immediately were both like, wait, we know that show. That show is great and terrible for all the same reasons that they love it. And so they started doing watch-overs of old episodes. And now Matt and I have been sunk in. I think we talked about it when we first started watching. We'll make our own bets on the episode as it's going through the episode. And then we watched 4 or 5 episodes with Sam one night.
Yep, she loved it.
And she was all in,
She
too.
was wicked into it. She was I love when I know she's gonna like something and she's like super hesitant about it, and she doesn't want to like it, but she
Yeah.
fucking
Because once you
sucked
tell her, you're like, you're going to like this. And she's like, no, I'm not.
in. Yeah.
No, just because you say I will. No, won't do it. And then immediately she's like, I just don't want to choose anybody. I'm like, that's not the point of the show. You have to choose somebody. So yeah, it's that's up there for our entertainment factors.
For sure. Definitely one of those things. Like if you're just check out an episode.
Yeah, it's not good. Like John Boy and Jake version of it is good because they're just commenting on the show itself. The show itself is not good. It is a bad game show for all intents and purposes, but it is very of the time from when it was filmed. It is locked in its time chamber where it would not fly today in 2020, but also it is just fun to play along with.
Yeah, it's fun to make fun of. It's fun to get in and
like these losers. And meanwhile, Matt's like, I also want to make a baggage episode with you on it, and I'm just like, please don't.
I mean, I think it'd be fun.
I think it'd be really entertaining. I think when this whole thing's over, we should just go to a bar and play like local bar versions of baggage. So like you just get a few random people around, and you're like, all right, reveal a small item about yourself. And it just kind of goes around, and you're like, all right, you two are out. I'll buy shots for you two.
I was just gonna
do it that way.
I was just gonna say, if I had a bar, I'd do a baggage night, and I'm like, wait a minute,
I have a bar. Mine just getting blown.
Like karaoke night will be baggage night.
I won't even compete. I will just show up every single night to be the guy in the crowd at the bar going, "Yeah, woo!" Just the one insane person in the bar. Actually, probably the only person there because nobody else is going to know what baggage is.
They won't, but once they find
Come
out,
watch a terrible dating game show. Yeah. It's fun times, though.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
A lot.
I know. There's been a lot going on in your life.
There has been a lot going on.
As far as the video games go.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot just going on. I mean, still trying to deal with work things when I can. And, that's a conversation I'm not going to have on a podcast. But when I stop working, I take long walks out in the woods. I found a ruffled grouse today.
Before you start, let me just say the other weird thing I did in my life was I shaved my beard off.
I can tell.
And
let
me just give you the Cliff Note version of this. What I had originally planned to do was shave the chin and leave the mustache for the connecting.
Right.
beard.
What we talked about. Sideburns to chin or to lamb chops, basically. Then connect the mustache and get rid of the goatee.
So I did that, but I made it too wide. So it didn't
okay.
look quite right. So I bailed on that, and then I just shaved. I kept the mustache, had chops.
Oh, okay.
It looked straight 70s. Like, it was on point. Samantha
Lost her mind.
lost her goddamn mind about it.
Why? You're in quarantine. The only people you're going to see are your family and me, maybe.
She was like, you look so creepy. You look like a fucking pedophile. Like, you look like all these things.
I like the picture of you now, just with that in your front window. You know how large they are. Just with like pajamas or a robe and a cup of coffee, just staring out at the neighborhood with like large frames on, and just kind of like looking around menacingly as people just walk by your house. And...
I got it. I got where she was coming from, because with the long hair, it's kind of got like a 70s do going on. The glasses. It all came together, and it was fucking sweet. But she was like, I could tell like she was trying not to tell me what to do with my life, but she was like real worried that I was going to keep it. Like real worried.
But she was very much telling me what to do with my life.
So I just said, fuck it. I'll do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, because everyone else is doing the quarantine beard, which was originally the plan.
That's where I'm at.
And then I was like, you know what? It's quarantine. You know what? Now would be a great opportunity to give my skin some reprieve. So
that's the other angle that I have in my head, where I'm like, quarantine, nobody sees me. It would be great just to shave this whole thing off and go straight down to the bottom and see what's up.
So that's what I did. I shaved it all off, and I've been lotioning it after I got out of the showers.
My basic plan is, pending I ever have to go back into work, is to get the notification about when we're going back in, and then shave everything then, depending on how much time I'm given. Like if I'm given a 2 weeks notice, like, hey, in 2 weeks we're going to go back in, then I'm going to just drip everything then and go, okay, I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to build back up and go back to being normal. But in the meantime, I'm letting it ride.
Yeah, let it ride. So yeah, continue. You were after we just passed work. Work we're not going to talk about.
Work we're not going to talk about. I'll piggyback off your facial hair conversation. As you can tell, it's getting there.
Yeah, letting it go. I've seen a bush here. I'm not gonna lie.
No. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We haven't gotten to the worst part of it. It's just now getting to the point where like I haven't trimmed the neck, so you can see it's getting low down here. That's going to have to get trimmed up a little bit, just because it's going to irritate me too much. Mustache getting there. Everything's getting there. Also, this hair, probably longest you might have ever seen it so far. Maybe it's been longer, but on the side it's getting pretty bad, because you can see how gray I am. Just the grays are just there, and I'm like, sup gray hair. Also, I can tell it's bad because I keep finding hairs on my face now. Like, because it's so long, I'll just have a random hair just like caught somewhere in my eyebrow, drooping over my eye, and I'm like, no, get out of here. And then I realize it's not attached to anything, and I just throw it away. So I'm just like, oh no, I'm shedding. I'm a dog. But and then I realize it's either me or Max. And it very much could just be a Max hair. Him and I have very similar hair length at this point.
Could be.
So yeah, that's where this is. And who knows what I'll do with my facial hair, because I have no one to tell me how to live my life until you show up and I go, hey, watch this, motherfucker. And I just start shaving weird, like, I'll just do like a fade, but like line. I'll look like, what's his name? Kenny Powers coming out of just chopped up beard. Anyway, there's that. That's the facial hair talk. Oiling it again, all that stuff.
The maintenance is key.
Yeah. And the top of my head is just, it's going to be gone for the most part until I'm like, when we talked about before, I'm like, I just need a trim, back here or something just to keep this away.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, this is, like I said, this is gone. This is just meant to be kept alive and see what happens.
Yeah. I feel you. My hair's so long now that I don't have to, I don't have to put product in it for it to, be, not sticking up, which is it's last time it was this long, I was still in high school.
I'm not there totally yet because this is I can just put water in for the most part and lay it back down. Mm-hmm. But there are times where if I wake up, it'll still just be like, oh, hey, we're just going to do one of these. And I'm like, I can't stand this.
Yeah.
So back to games. You know what? Let's skip games. I've been reading the baseball book. Trying to get through that so I can start the next book and move on. About halfway through.
It's a sizable book.
It's a sizable book, and it's basically a textbook.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like a quick read, because I am doing a lot of learning while I'm reading. I'm not just enjoying.
Yeah, you're trying to absorb it.
Right. So I'm doing a chapter a day roughly to try to be able to progress myself.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting things. Stolen bases don't really mean much, but that's the whole thing.
As far as statistics go.
Their impact specifically on a game, the amount of stolen bases versus the times you're caught stealing, and a whole lot of correlation to
statistically, it's not worth the effort.
Basically, it would be more effective to take an extra base on a hit than it would be to try to steal a base. So if you were on first and somebody hit a ball to the outfield, it would be more effective for you to to go from first to third than it would be for you to try to steal second. But
what's interesting about this though is the philosophical side of it. Statistically, it doesn't gain you much as far as scoring, but psychological impact might be different.
It might be, but you can't track that analytically.
That's the interesting part about it.
So still going through the baseball book. The watching has happened of watching all of everything, tons of YouTube and whatever. Finally watched Joker.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I watched Joker. All right. It's a movie.
All right. It's a movie. All right. There you go.
I don't think it's great. I don't hate it a ton because I think the end of it saves it a lot. But it took too long to get there, I think. And I don't give a shit for the angles it was trying to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a terrible movie if there's a second one, I think. I think a second one, a sequel to that, would help it so much more. But as it stands on its own, I'm like, it tickles some parts of Joker, the Joker I envision and but it doesn't give me him.
Yeah.
It just, it gives me a mentally unstable person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I'm just like, that's that's boring. That's not, to me, that's also not true. A difference between a mentally disabled person, which is what they portrayed that Joker to be, and somebody that is fully functioning batshit crazy are two very different things, I think, in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I might be sick. We're all crazy inside our heads or whatever. Jared Leto says, yeah, whatever. Fucking God, that Joker honestly was way worse than Joaquin Phoenix's. Jared Leto Joker was terrible.
I haven't seen that one, so.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Don't. Save yourself. It ain't worth it. You watch a Boomerang get killed in the first 3 seconds. I'm going to go up here, and I'm dead. Useless.
I did like Joker, but we are pretty much polar opposites on the as far as the Joker.
What we like in Jokers?
I don't know if it's necessarily
even
that.
Nicholson's Joker isn't that Joker.
I don't know if it's necessarily that, but I think what we were looking for in this movie was like polar opposites.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
So,
but you know, I watched it.
Yeah, it's good.
It was on the list of things I needed to watch. I've watched it.
Yeah.
Still watching Lego Masters. Still watching Westworld. Westworld season 3, doing great, doing good things. I'm enjoying it. 3 episodes in, 4th one comes out this weekend.
Speaking of that, HBO doing a free week or something like that for certain content.
Okay, well, there's a lot of good shit on HBO, so you probably should watch it.
Yeah, the one that's on there that people are making a big deal out of that I might actually check out because I've never actually watched it is it's got the whole series of The Wire.
There you go.
It's going to be available.
I haven't watched it either, but people love it.
Veep is going to be available. There was a bunch of other stuff.
A lot of their older stuff, it sounds like.
Yeah, mostly their older stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Then what was the other thing I watched? Oh, I watched The Killing Joke. Because after I watched one Joker movie that I was unhappy with, I had to go watch a good Joker movie. And I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it ended, I went, what the fuck was that? So now I'm not sure if I liked it or not.
I've never seen The Killing Joke.
It's definitely not a kid's movie.
No.
It is the most adult animated film I've probably seen. That is to ignore the existence of Sausage Party. This is the most adult comic book movie
There's
I've
a
seen.
few of the Batman
They swear
ones.
in it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the Batman ones I think that are like
Yeah, but I mean like the
hard.
Some
like
of the other
hard.
and like Batman the animated series that got its revival and whatever isn't that way. This is the Killing Joke is the one where they're like, no, we're going to just go, and I'm like, oh, all right. But then it ends, and I'm like, is there more? Is there a sequel? No. So I went crazy.
Got hit twice with the it ends too soon. Yeah, you want to see a sequel of the. You'd want more of.
I want more of the end of it because I want it to clean up the bad in the beginning. Like that, whatever. I don't want to talk about it more on this podcast. I'll talk about it a little bit after. Then he got into games. Games. Todd started playing Diablo. Wanted me to play Diablo with him. So
you went all in.
I went too far. Honestly, because now I can't get out.
He's gone too far.
Take my tortillas. Yeah, no, I went too far. And now I can't get out. So
you rolling another character? You doing another? What are we doing here?
I had max slots on characters.
Yeah.
So when you have max slots, you have to rebirth the character, which strips them of all their gear, puts it in your stash, and then starts them over from level 1 so you can play in the new season.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that and just rolled a barbarian. And Todd's playing a witch doctor, and now we're just running and trying to get as much gear as we can. We're both geared, but now it's just trying to find better versions of our gear. So, you know, it's what it is. It's a good just hang out, chill, listen to some music, do that.
Yeah.
Playing the World of Warcraft, still got the 100% buff. I have two classes left to get to max level. I will achieve that, I assume, by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
One is pretty close, one is a little bit further away, but both easily doable should I sit down and do them. What else? Doom Eternal. Got through a few more missions. Played the level that introduces the, I think, hardest enemy in the game. But holy shit is he hard. Took me, I think, 5 times to kill him. And I'm not playing on like crazy difficulty or anything. But damn, that was a thing. The Marauder is the name. I don't remember his name, but you have to keep him at medium range. If you get too close, he shoots you with a shotgun. If you get too far, he throws projectiles at you. So you need to keep him in the middle. And if you shoot any time at him when his eyes aren't glowing green, he just blocks it. So you're doing timing windows, but he's just dashing around too, and it's just it's a whole thing. So much.
Yuck.
There's that. I've been playing the show. Always playing a lot of the show. You know what? Let's talk about the show. Let's wax poetic a little bit. So I accomplished the first inning program When you get to 300 stars in the program, it allows you to choose one of the 3 featured people of that program. I got to that point, chose that guy for the Diamond Dynasty team. So then I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with Diamond Dynasty right now. I don't need to do anything else in it. Because that's the main goal, is to push each time a program comes out, get to 300 stars, pick one of those players. And if there's other things I need to do, I'll do them. But like otherwise, it's just that's my goal that time. So I was like, all right, I'll play another season of Road to the Show, my solo Nate Killian campaign. I went bonkers as far as I was concerned. I finished 2020 because I brought my save over from 2019. And I was rookie in the year in 2019. I didn't qualify for a batting title in 2019 because I didn't have enough plate appearances to qualify. 2020, the season that I started this year, I managed to qualify for the batting title. I was top 3 in MVP votes. I was an all-star. I did not win the MVP. I was top 3 MVP votes. Bryce Harper had an insane year, and I was not going to beat him. I think I should have, but I was not going to beat him. I wasn't even kidding myself at that. He won MVP. I was top 3 in MVP. I had the league's highest batting average at 378. I was top 5 in on-base percentage, top 5 in slugging, number 1 in OPS or close, and I was in the top 5, I think, for home runs. Like, I was in the top 5 of a lot of categories, except for walks. Walks, I was in the top, 15 of. So I started having a really nice balanced year towards the end of it. I won the Silver Slugger for first baseman. I was top 3 in Gold Glove for first baseman, did not win that. I won the Hank Aaron Award for the best hitter in the league. So I was feeling pretty good. Get to the offseason. Cubs offered me a 7-year deal for $90 million. I countered. I said I wanted a 7-year deal for $100 million. They said, how about 7 years for $93.6 million? And I said, deal. So I got paid. And now I want to get traded because they did not get pitchers, and we missed the damn playoffs last season. And if we don't get to the playoffs this year, I'm going to lose my mind. Get me to the playoffs. I deserve to be in the playoffs. So now I'm in season 2, hunting, or season 3, I guess technically, hunting my MVP award plus World Series ring. Those are the two accomplishments I need.
Traded off the Yankees?
The Yankees traded me.
In the very first, they were on the first team.
Yeah, I didn't, because you can, when you create your character, you can either choose to go through the draft and get randomly assigned a team based just in the draft, or you can actually say, no, I want to play for this team, and you'll at least start in that organization. And I was like, all right, well, I want to start on the Yankees, or start with the Yankees. So the game just rigs it so you get drafted by them. And so I started there. I made it through AA and AAA with them. I got called up to the majors. I was playing third for them in the majors due to some weird AAA things that happened where they're like, hey, we want you to take some reps at third because whatever, something first base. And I was like, okay, fine. If it makes me get to the major leagues, I'll play third. Played third, got to the major leagues, played for the Yankees for a couple of games, played third for them, hit a couple home runs, and I was like, all right, I'm in the majors. Got knocked back down to AAA. Got called back up a little bit later because I think I was only there for an injury replacement or something. Got called back up, and I was just kind of playing. I was on and off playing a bit, and then they traded me, which annoyed the shit out of me. Then they traded me to the Chicago Cubs for David Bodie, who is not better than me, was never better than me, and is never going to be better than me. David Bodie, solid player in real life. I have nothing against the guy. But I was a 19-year-old A-rated prospect, and he was a 27-year-old C, and they just 1-for-1 traded. And I was like, that doesn't make sense at all.
I'm wondering if there's some weird, do you think you could get back onto the Yankees? Or is there some weird fucked up algorithm where they're like,
I bet I can get back on either if I get traded there or if I go to free agency, but it's going to take me a few years now to get to free agency because I signed a 7-year deal, but $93 million, what am I going to do? Say no? And so when I hit free agency, I might be able to go back to the Yankees, and I will try if that is so an option I have. If I continue this for 7 years, who knows? But yeah. I will try to get back to them. because that is my goal, is to go there and win a title with them. But right now it is win a title and win an MVP. Those are my two personal goals. Whatever team they happen on, they happen. But I do want to get back to the Yankees and win a title. But they traded me, and this is the part that pisses me off. They traded me to the Cubs. I was a first baseman. They traded me to the Cubs. The Cubs have Chris Bryant at third, great third baseman. Have Javier Baez at shortstop, great shortstop. Have Anthony Rizzo at first base. Pretty solid first baseman. What am I doing here? They make me the starting first baseman and bench Rizzo. I'm like, okay, guess I'm not going to complain about that, but that doesn't make sense because we're in the National League, so we don't have a DH. So you just took another good bat out of the lineup. Like, you should have just put me at second, where you had a weakness, and kept all four of us in the lineup, and we'd be great. But no, my existence in benching of him pisses Rizzo off. So when he goes to free agency next year, he leaves and goes to the Yankees. So Rizzo went to the Yankees, and I have had better seasons than him every single year.
Yeah,
just dominating on these kids.
There's just something here with the algorithms. The shit that's programmed is shit. It's garbage. Terrible.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. 378 with 99 RBIs, 36 home runs, under 10 stolen bases because my guy's not meant to do that. Caught stealing probably more times than he successfully stole a base because manager says steal base. I try to steal, I get thrown out. So it's on him, not me.
What if you ignore him?
I've debated it a couple times because I'm like, this doesn't make sense for me to steal right now. We need to have me not get out. And there's a couple pitchers I know I can steal on based on like their pitching routine and they're slow, so I know I can get there. There's other ones where I'm like, I'm never going to be able to make this no matter what unless that's a ball is thrown wildly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I did on the show. And that's been it. It's a lot, but that's been the
routine,
the bunch. Dead War, obviously, we talked about. I dabbled in Division. I dabbled in other things. What I'm planning on trying to do is tomorrow night, you, me, some other friends, 10:30ish, I'm hoping, play some Drawful 2.
Okay.
Because it was free on Epic. I'll host the game. I'll stream it in our Discord. And we'll all be able to see the screen and play that way. I'm hoping.
Okay.
I gotta tell the others, but that's the idea. And also, I'm getting really, really tempted to play Animal Crossing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I haven't pulled the trigger yet, and I don't know if I will. Because I don't know that I actually want to commit to it, or I just like the idea of it.
Well,
because I just keep seeing it everywhere.
I don't think it would disrupt what you have going on.
No, I don't think it would disrupt.
It's one of those games that you could like do your
multitasking.
Yeah,
my multitasking. I don't think it would disrupt me, but at the same time, I don't know that I would actually want to do it. Like, I want to do it because I see everybody else doing it. I'm like, ooh, what's the fun they're having? Let me just take a look over here, and now I'm a hot dog. Like, it would take me seconds to get invested, but at the same time, I don't know that I want to get invested because I'm like, maybe I play really hard for a week, and then I'm like, all right then. Yeah. That's what it was. So it's a teeter-totter. And I'm like, ooh, really want to play it. And then that kind of goes down, and I'm like, but what if you only play it for so long? Ooh, what if you really want to play it, though? And I'm just like,
It's a battle.
So, yeah, that's what
it's a bat. And sometimes, you win, sometimes you lose. That's how I felt about Half-Life and the VR thing.
That. So let's wrap back up to that. So other things I played were on Matt's VR. I played Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Pretty good game.
Yeah. You did a good job. Did a good job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I did manage to beat. The only song I beat was on a song on hard.
Yeah.
After I failed it on normal immediately. Then I failed it on hard like 3 times, and then I beat it. And then I wanted to see what Expert Plus was like, and that's absolutely insane. I don't ever plan on doing that again. I think hard on certain songs is probably like the nice comfort zone where it's enough of the actual beat. Because sometimes on normal, I was like, all right, cool. Like that one song I tried, I was like, all right, cool breakdown moment.
Nothing.
There's only one block. Oh, what? No, I want to play like the Phil Collins into the, dun 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 dun. Nope, not there. Just one block for that whole thing. And I was like, it's boring. But yeah, did beat the one song on hard. Kept trying to figure out how to play Crab Rave. Couldn't do it. 360 mode was interesting.
That was
a little
cool.
weird, but interesting.
On that kind of brings up the other thing about that particular VR is that so I opted for the Rift S.
Right.
Oculus's other VR is the Quest, which is the wireless version. This was not knowledge at the time. It did not exist. But after about a week ago, or maybe even a couple days ago, they released something called Virtual Desktop. Someone released it as a third-party software called Virtual Desktop. And it works wirelessly with a PC better than the Quest link cable does. So the whole thing with the Quest is it's wireless and mobile. But there's a link cable that you can link it to a PC and it'll work like a regular PC VR.
Right.
Well, they came out with software. Someone came out with software that links it wirelessly with the PC, and it works better than the link cable does. And it works surprisingly well. And had I known of that beforehand, I probably would have opted for the Quest.
Okay.
And then stuff like that, the 360 Beat Saber with a wireless headset,
right,
would be the fucking bee's knees.
Would be the bee's knees, but also it was kind of good sometimes to have the wire because I'm like, all right, I know where I am. Like,
yeah,
you get to the feel of the wire, but even with the wall, and I was triggering that wall so many times it's super hot that I was just like, if I didn't have also you kind of there, I could easily see myself just punching through a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beat Saber was pretty fun. I think I only played for maybe 30 minutes, but I could feel myself being my limit at 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of like your movement in there, but it is enough to, in like visually, and maybe if I had turned on the audio, maybe it was a little bit better too. But there was just enough enough sensory things happening where I could start to kind of feel the headache, and I was like, all right, if I just stop here, I know I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And sit down and talk about my experience for a little bit, and then get back up and go back in.
I think that's true for everyone too, because even on the first day I had it, I didn't play very long because I think it's like I started to get the headache, and I think it's something that like you have to work into
a little bit of acclimation to it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the headache, though, I started a Half-Life Alyx save on your game.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. I give zero shits, as you can tell by my commentary, over everything he was saying, because what the hell do I care?
Means nothing to you.
Yeah. All right, go get something that represents us. And I immediately picked up the trash can with items in it and set that down. He's like, all right, that represents you. And I was just like, okay, trash can, perfect. Broke every plate I could, threw bottles everywhere. The haptic is I wish it was a little bit more vibrating, maybe like a little bit more intensity, because sometimes when you're like, yeah, do you feel it? I was like, I mean, I feel like if you went on me, like if you hummed on me is what it felt like. And I was like, I wish it was a little bit more punchy sometimes, which maybe is a setting, not sure. But it was
it's
all
just the tiny controller syndrome.
All potential too, but I mean, the Joy-Con can tell me if there's 3 or 4 ice cubes, so I don't know about that. Though they're also not tracking the entire motion of everything. The amount you can control your hand with the haptic of just resting your fingers on the buttons without even pressing them was actually activating your fingers in the game. Mm-hmm. That gun was actually accurate.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
I found that I've learned that I have issues. If I did own a pistol, it would be a difficult situation because I hold it in such a way that I'm always skewed to one side.
Okay.
And I have to physically I have to mentally,
turn your wrist a
make
little
sure
bit.
I turn it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I think I missed the one shot where I threw the barrel up, but I think everything else I hit for the most part as far as I knew. The storage system of throwing things over your back was pretty cool. The movement wasn't terrible because I was using the blink method. Mm-hmm. And I think I in there for maybe 45 minutes. 30?
Probably 30 minutes.
I was good right up until I could feel it kind of coming on as I was going. And then right towards the end of that 30-minute mark, I was like, I need to get out of here because I know it's going to get bad because I started I don't know if it was the quick jumping I was doing or just there was so much movement. But I was like, I need to get out of here now because there's a lot of movement with looking around and having to move your character and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my disappointment that I could throw a 50-gallon drum barrel just flying, but I couldn't pick up the zombie and throw him over the side. I was just that annoyed the hell out of me. I'm like, what am I? A weakling? Pick up throw the.
It is weird. Like
I know it's because they don't want you to because they didn't code those things in.
Yeah,
which is fair, but it's like, well, come on, you coded everything else in.
It is kind of weird, and I guess that makes sense. Like they're probably like 200 pounds.
Yeah,
the barrels are empty.
Yeah, and it's dead weight.
Empty.
And I don't really want to because if I could, I would just grab a glove and grab him by the back of the head and walk like this, walk forward with him the entire time towards enemies.
And you are meant to move them because they have shit on them sometimes.
Yeah, they have loot, and I wore a safety cone on my head. The moment Matt told me I could wear a safety cone on my head, I put a safety cone on my head.
You did. You did do it.
And I put it on for the entire time.
The entire time.
I lost it in the first safety cone I saw when I got back in. I put another one back on. Which is funny because inside my headset, it didn't take up that. It didn't take like that much of my vision away. It took it like if you put a safety cone on your own head, that's what it looked like. But when you saw it outside the game and it was taking up like a third of the screen or half of the screen, it was like, oh, that's not what I see.
It'd be interesting to have you jump in at certain parts of the game because you get a good idea of the physics and movements in the first half of the game, but then when you get into the thick of it, when it's
like actual combat moments and
the ambiance of like the really dark tunnels and like you can't see and the noises, and then the fucking head crabs jumping out at you and stuff, like it's like a whole nother level or layer, or not even that. It's like a whole nother experience, I guess.
Yeah.
Scary as fuck.
Yeah, luckily I didn't actually have to ever shoot an enemy.
Yeah.
I got to just throw bottles around and shoot them and shoot the guy's window and have him scream at me.
Mm-hmm. You do some subway stuff. Actually, how they introduce you to combat's pretty fun because it's in subways and you can break the glass and like close doors and open doors. And
yeah, I mean, it was, I was impressed the entire time with the tech. Give two shits about the game itself.
Yeah.
But I was using it more as a tech demo than anything. And it all looked very good. Mostly, I also don't give a shit about the game only because I don't have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
So I don't care. And
which is fair.
I want, when I go to want to know about the game and how it stacks up with 1 and 2 and storyline things, that's where I'm going to go to you and go, how storyline wise, how does it look? How does it fit? How does it work? Stuff like that. I can easily tell for myself in the mechanic department where I'm like, oh, this is really good. It's just unfortunate it's a VR title.
Yeah.
Like it's great and it really uses VR in every way it's supposed to be used. But it's also a VR title, so it's not going to be mass played like it probably deserves to be.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate. I mean, the Rift is probably the best bang for buck model right now, but there needs to be more.
Right.
There just needs to be more. There's no other way around it. And I've read a lot of stuff online like that. It runs good on any hardware, and like that's the case I've seen as well, my experience. But there just needs to be more headsets that are either at that price and or cheaper.
But with $400 and playing Alex and everything, it's easily playable.
Oh yeah.
I just know that I would probably only be playing in 30 to maybe hour. I'd be stretching it at an hour spurts, where I'd be like, okay, I'm doing that. Now I need to do something else for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But playing Super Hot, I could have sat in Super Hot all day. That was a ton of fun for me. Throwing was a little weird, but kind of once you figure it out, it was all right. And there were some moments where I was loving life. Getting the shotgun pellets just around me. Somehow he misses.
Super Hot's one of those examples of like a game that clearly works. I don't want to say works better, but like
it's 100% better in VR.
Yeah, it's just like you can move, you can fucking do weird shit.
Yeah.
You can dodge, you can hide behind shit. Like
I'm literally there taunting, like leaning and crouching, and it was. Taking weapons just off people, just whoop, nope, mine, thank you, stab.
Yeah, you know, it'd be a great game in VR. fucking Humans Fall Flat.
It would be interesting.
Like that, not necessarily the vertical aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like the concept of like
I could
teamwork to solve puzzles.
Oh, right. I could barely stand the falling in the Super Hot one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to fall from sky when I die.
Yeah.
But the Super Hot was a ton of fun going through the levels and just kind of being able to go through. Having you there was kind of cool too, because we could both just like, what do we need to, what needs to be done at this level type thing. And there were a couple times where I would clearly hit an enemy with a weapon and it just didn't work. But
yeah,
there were times once you kind of get everything down and you kind of get the movement, and in a Super Hot like level you might have 4 or 5 not vignettes but stages. The failing on one stage just puts you back to stage 1, so you could learn all the stages and then just know which one you were kept failing on. And when you were able to master the stages getting up to it is when it just felt so good, especially the one where it was knife kill with bottle to grab knife, throw to shoot guy coming downstairs. When I got that down that one time of just bottle, knife, into him, turn, grab gun, shoot him, I felt so good for that. I was just like, yes, yeah, let's go. It was definitely triggering endorphins of just like, give me more. I want to inject this into my veins.
That's the one thing. So like Super Hot, for example, the one thing that's missing from Half-Life Alyx is melee. Like melee combat.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I was able to, I didn't like truly think about it until I realized I had no options that in like one of the first missions I played. And the guy runs at me and I'm like, wait a second. I just punch you, sir. I punch you and I punch you again. I punch you in the head, I punch you in the dick, and I punch you in the chest.
There's Boneworks as another VR title.
Yeah, Boneworks. We
apparently
talked about
does
a year ago now, maybe?
Yeah. Well, it came out in December, I think.
Okay, maybe 6 months ago.
It apparently does melee really, really well. And
Boneworks is supposed to be crazy.
Yeah. I'm curious, that might be one that I have to pick up and try out, because I really, like, Half-Life is great, but it does need some form of melee in it.
Yeah. You need the crowbar. Why would you not have the crowbar?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's so satisfying. Like when you're in Super Hot punching things instead of throwing bottles, hitting people with knives.
The punching and throwing things is so, like, it was very cool to be just, here's a shotgun, bang, and then just huck the shotgun at somebody, grab another one out of the air, and just keep like the movement I was able to do, because you don't actually have to move. You basically are standing still in the level and just grabbing what you can and shoot it. And I was just like, I could sit here all day.
Yeah.
And I think it does help too that it's all white minus the black objects of like the breakable and guns and stuff and the red enemies. Just having those 3 colors, like, there isn't anything to really be blurry or fuck with your eyes. So it was much easier to stay there longer, because I got out of Super Hot because I needed to get out of Super Hot, because I wouldn't have stopped. Yeah. I specifically said, all right, I'm going to get this stage done and be done. And I got it. And then I immediately went into the next stage.
I'd be curious to see. It's kind of twisted, because like it's like experimenting on you. But
sure, yeah. Why is that? Not totally fucked up.
The Rifts. One of the cons of the Rift that people kind of say is that it has a low refresh rate on the screen. It has like an 80 something.
Oh yeah, versus the 90s. Yeah,
yeah. Well, 90 is what people consider standard. So like a lot of the Vive stuff, but like the Index. And a lot of the higher end, like the Vive Pro, I think, the Index, the Pimax headsets, are all 120 hertz or 144 hertz.
Okay.
I'd be curious to throw you in one of those and see if it helps at all, like the higher refresh rate.
It might not even be the refresh rate as much. It might be the resolution. I think it's truly the resolution. I don't think the refresh rate was what I was noticing. I think it was that also I tried to just get the headset to be as perfect as I could, because there was that sweet spot for non-blurriness or whatever. But even once you're there, it's like it's not crisp still. Like it still all looks great, but it's not the me sitting down and looking at a computer screen. Yeah, pretty. It's still that step off of there. So I don't know if maybe there was like the crazy like an OLED blah 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 like the $2,000 headset. Maybe that fixes all of that. But at that point, I'm like, that's not worth it when I could have just the greatest experience on the $400 headset and just
not
play it. Yeah, not sit in
much.
it for 8 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
And Super Hot, I could sit in for 8 hours now. I go back downstairs right now and just be like, I'm gonna play Super Hot because it is so much fun. I'm just going to master these levels. I pick up ashtray, throw ashtray at you. What's up? Give me your gun. Shoot you with your own gun. Shoot that guy with your gun. Throw a gun at third guy. What's up? Oh, guy on my left that I didn't see. Uppercut. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. The only time I was really truly tripped out was that first stage. Maybe it was mission 3 or something. And it was the guy at me with shotgun, grab shotgun from him, shoot guy out of hallway, shoot him. What was it? Shoot him, shoot far, throw gun, something, grab shotgun. The four guys. Kill the first one with a shotgun, kill the second guy, then the far two that I could get with one shotgun blast. But there was a in-game wall right behind me that obviously I could like punch through. But every time I turned around, I was like, oh god, the wall's right there. Holy shit, that's really close. Oh wait, that's right, it's not really a wall. But it would put you, after being in there for so long, because unless I really wanted to like move my head, I couldn't see out from around me. So I would just turn slightly to the right to go somewhere, and there's just a wall. And I'm like, oh god, I'm really close to that. But yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun to watch.
Thanks. Yeah, I was waiting for myself to just do the good old VR face where just mouth open, looking around, just yeah, it's VR. Hey, how do I look around? All the videos you see of the VR people online. I'm sure I probably look like a psychopath anyway, but that's my normal demeanor. So not much different except for put a VR headset on me. But that's it. That's all I got. I mean, it's a lot. We're at like 2 hours.
It's cool. I'm good.
Hey, it's a quarantine, so you got 2 hours worth of entertainment out of us. And you got to keep up with the news from the first half of this. That's really all I got.
That's all I got.
Perfect. We'll see you guys in 7 days then. Bye-bye.